And thank you very much.
Right, let's move on to some other stories now. A solemn wreath-laying ceremony was held today at Asumdwe Park to mark 13 years since the passing of former President Professor John Evans Atta Mills. The commemoration brought together leaders of the National Democratic Congress, the late president's family, President John Dramani Mahama, and Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. In his tribute, President Mahama lauded Professor Atta Mills for his humility, integrity, and visionary leadership, noting that the NDC's current reset agenda draws inspiration from the Better Ghana agenda championed by the late leader. Channel One News' Sarah Pierre was at the ceremony and reports.
On July 24, 2012, Ghana was plunged into grief when Professor John Evans Atta Mills, the nation's third president of the Fourth Republic, passed away suddenly at the 37 Military Hospital. His untimely death cut short a presidency that began on January 7, 2009, sending shockwaves across the country and dominating media headlines. 13 years on, the memory of his leadership lives on. Thursday's ceremony at Asumdwe Park served as both a tribute and a moment of reflection. Addressing the gathering, President John Dramani Mahama praised his predecessor's enduring legacy, describing the event as more than ceremonial.
If there's one lesson we draw from the life of President Mills, it is that no challenge is insurmountable when we listen with empathy and when we govern with principle. So let me say for emphasis that our reset agenda today rests on the foundation of the Better Ghana agenda that was laid by Professor J.E.A. Mills.
President Mahama further revealed plans to refurbish the John Evans Atta Mills Presidential Library, assuring that it will stand as a permanent monument to his life and service.
Kofi Totobi and a small group are already working on bringing that memorial library back to the shape in which it should be. And we can be sure that we will let it achieve the objective for which it was set up.
The executive director of the John Evans Atta Mills Memorial Heritage, Nana Oye Bampo Ado, also highlighted the former president's remarkable contributions to legal education, particularly his efforts to expand opportunities for law students nationwide.
Mills helped to create a generation of legal professionals who understood their responsibility. Mills came to the presidency with a clear vision that was encapsulated in the Better Ghana agenda.
Today marks exactly 13 years since the passing of former President of the Republic, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, who died in office just days after his 68th birthday. A wreath-laying ceremony organized by the government was held in his honor at the Asumdwe Park. Channel One News' Jude Duncan looks back at the passing and enduring legacy of Ghana's former leader.
"13 years ago, the nation was plunged into mourning following the sudden passing of President John Evans Atta Mills, the sitting head of state, who died just hours after being rushed to the 37 Military Hospital. The news of his death sent shockwaves throughout the country and across the African continent. The mood of the nation was best captured by then Vice President John Dramani Mahama in a somber address to the nation.
We are the bearers of bad news. I know you've heard, but in Ghana and Africa, we also have our traditions. We have to follow and formally inform you that your son
Today, friends, family, and admirers from all walks of life gathered at the Asumdwe Park to pay tribute to a man widely remembered for his humility, integrity, and unwavering love for Ghana. His only son, Kofi Atta Mills, shared a deeply personal reflection on his father's legacy.
President Mills, during his short time of being president, taught us a different type of leadership. which I believe that today has become the bedrock of not just our leadership, but politics in Ghana as a whole.
Dr. Christina Mwakunyama, a close confidant and a former Minister of State, described President Mills as a man of peace and principle.
He really was a man of peace. If you knew him, what he would say, oh, Christy, more, you know, in his fancy. Christy, when you are a bit upset about someone doing something or the other, he will calm you down. The way he will talk and the way he will even look at you, you will just end up sort of smiling or laughing with him and then just calming down. Very fond memories. The sadness is gone.
She urged Ghanaians to honor the late president by upholding the values he stood for.
Our current president, John Mahama, he has said it's a resetting of the country. And his own delivery, he also is a calm person. He's not giddy-giddy-cry. He's very committed to doing things for this nation. I think that we ought to just all be prayerfully supporting what this government is doing. Yes, there may be certain different ways we wish things could be done, but at least we could offer constructive suggestions. We could all be a little kinder to each other. Everybody has a problem. Everybody has a challenge coming into government. Nobody can be perfect. Nobody is perfect.
13 years on since the passing of late former President of the Republic, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, a man many have described as peace-loving and a man full of integrity. 13 years since his passing, there have been calls for the nation to revisit the values and ideals he left behind. For Channel One News, Jude Duncan.